All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Chaos here on my video. This is Mr. Squirrel, as always. Glad to have you here. So, I want to talk a little about speculating. What could Chizuru be doing? And a little bit what I hope she's doing, because I am starting to notice there is a small issue I'm having with Hugo and Tresa, and I'm hoping she may actually potentially pair with Tresa. So, Chizuru has been teased, and we know that it's going to be, we don't know the specific order. I mean, it seems like Chizuru's coming next, and then, and Serenio, are going to be coming out. We don't know the exact order, but it is assumed that Chizuru will be next, and then Serenio will be, coming afterwards. Chizuru will be coming out next week at the time they're recording this, about a week from this video recording. She will be released, and then Serenio will be coming out December 24th, so Christmas Eve. Now, one of the things that I'm hoping she does is interact with Agony. I would really like a character that kind of, besides Tresa, works with Agony. She kind of almost seems very similar to Tresa in like general look, and I'm hoping that her and Tresa kind of synergize well together, and she can do maybe more damage based on the Agony stacks that are inflicted. I think that would be a really cool, like, it'd be a really cool interaction. And the reason I want to talk a little bit about this is because right now, one of the go-to teams is Hugo, Tresa, Mika. And I think everyone's using that team for good reason. It's fully free to play. As long as you pull Hugo, you've got the other two characters, right? But something that's been happening recently is I actually run Hugo, Tresa, and Orlea. And with Orlea, my healing is actually almost, I'm getting too many micro heals. And what's happening is I am generating so many daggers that my Hugo cannot keep up, and I'm losing a lot of DPS in the process of it because Hugo, there's too many attacks. And my potential, what I'm thinking here is that when we think about this card right here with the initiation effect of when healed by a skill card, create one shadow dagger, that you pair her with any healer and Tresa will be generating massive amounts of daggers. I'm hoping, and then generating a ton of agony. I am hoping Chizuru is able to capitalize on this agony, and like the more agony stacks, she can do more damage. I think that would be a really cool interaction with Tresa, and I think that would be like a really fun dynamic, because what's happening here, and I'm going to show this now in game, is that I'm actually generating too many daggers that Hugo cannot keep up, and I'm actually losing damage. And so I'm wondering if they're going to kind of move these two away from each other, which does make sense. I actually think that it would be a good decision on the devs' part to then say, hey, you really want to use Tresa to her full capacity, we've got this new DPS character coming out. And then later down the line, we could say, hey, here's Hugo. Hugo pairs with a lot of characters, though, so I don't know if that's going to be, he needs like someone dedicated. I think there's going to be, he kind of is really just throw him on the team and he does his work. But I want to show this issue where I'm generating too many daggers. All right, let's go check it out. Okay, to give an indication, I'm going to start this off. Again, there could be better decks. I want to highlight this one thing right here. Now, I have two of those heal generations, so she generates double the daggers. Now, mind you, with Sturdy in hand, I get 2 daggers right at the start of every turn. Now, great, I can then do a final up. I can do get another upgrade for Hugo. Now, I'm gonna throw, now watch it. So we're gonna throw the curse out, bump his commence a hunt up to 5. All right, boom, boom, both daggers. Now let's watch this. Okay, growth acceleration on 1 Sturdy. Now watch. This is going to give me 6 daggers. Now, I've only got 4 commence the hunts. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I've used up all of his commence the hunts. All of them. Like, now I am actually losing damage, because Hugo no longer can keep up with the amount of stacks that Tresa is doing. And so I'll like generate another heal. That's another 2. So I get 1 more commence the hunt, and I'm still, that's 3 cards that don't get. Now, mind you, why I want to highlight this point is in this given instance, I would love a character who can capitalize on the amount of agony that is sitting right here. Like this card, but actually as a character, right? Because this card with its current epiphany is 259% damage times 3. plus 10% damage per target's agony. Now, it would be amazing if we had a character that synergizes with this agony in a way that really compounds. Now, people are gonna be like, well, that's not free to play. Well, actually, because everyone gets Tresa, it is free to play because everyone has a character that is going to be like that would rely on it. So I really think in this, like, having Chizuru as a character in this situation that can potentially like build on and or utilize this mechanic would be amazing, because now, you know, it, there we go, tons of agony just triggered. I would love to see this continually keep working. Now let's do a few more of these. All right, we got the curse. I will use the dingo howling in a minute because it does give a lot of stacks. All right, we'll do this. This puts me at, all right, we'll do this. This will get rid of one stack. Now you're noticing how careful I have to be with each. Okay, then what we're gonna do, go here. Okay, perfect. I'll bring this down. Okay, bring it down. Does bring it down to 2? Yes, it does bring me down to 2. All right, great. And we get the shield here, and then I'm going to do a Swifty. Okay. Now, let's let the agony proc. Okay, great. All right, we're on to the second phase. Now, again, it would be great to have a character that can capitalize on these interactions. This is going to hurt. I think he's going to do what? I think I might actually be dead here because of how much he's going to do. Nope, I'm still alive. Okay. So, now again, a couple things to take note of. All right. I get a nice little heal here. Creates daggers, but again, I got to be very careful how much I'm throwing at this character. We'll throw 1 dagger. And I'm going to put up a shield. We'll get this, draw 1. That sucks. I could have really used that heal. That's my bad. But neither here nor there. All right, that healing is good. I can just do this. Now, again, I do want to highlight, again, this is where this issue comes into play. I'm going to end up killing myself in this situation, but that's besides the point. I'm just trying to demonstrate a few things right now because this is where the hammer will come out, the fist. But you're seeing how, like, one of the limitations of this team right now is that even though Hugo is very good, I am running out of his commence the hunts because there's too many daggers, which almost makes it so that I'm like, do I even really want to? I'll do this so I can get some more, kind of get a shield up. Again, I'm not trying to demonstrate this to win. I'm just trying to demonstrate this to highlight a limitation right now. Now, it would be really cool to have a character that could interact. All right. I think this might potentially save me for a little bit. I think I just keep that one for right now. Okay, there goes all of the stacks again. So, you know, this is potentially the issue that I'm having right now. So we'll throw these daggers. And there goes the hammer. Am I still alive? I'm still alive. Woohoo. All right. Again, it would be great to have a character that could capitalize on this agony as much as I would like them to. But right now, we don't have a character that synergizes well with agony. Instead, I'm using Hugo as a means. Now, also, I see a lot of people kind of throwing out, you just keep drawing and healing and you make Tresa the main damage leader, which is also a very good reality. But it would be really nice to have a character that does capitalize on this massive amount of agony that is sitting on this team, right, on this character, and allows me to capitalize and make agony an even more impactful mechanic. Because I think right now it's very good. I would like to see more done with it. And I think Chizuru would be an amazing character to push that mold. I'm going to go and talk a little bit more and see more about a character that can build on all the agony that Tresa can be doing, and maybe even move Tresa more into the supportive role. And, we get some really cool interactions with agony, maybe like some shielding from it. Cause that might be too broken, but it would be really, and again, it would be really cool to see that happen. Now, at the same time, she could also potentially go the Rin route, which become this like single target attacker, or she could fit neither of these molds. And but one thing is really interesting is that about Void is almost they're pulling things from the Void and they're using cards, because both, like, Rin wants to be in this dark mist stance, but she's like modifying her abilities and does some really almost like she's going into like a voidish state. And then meanwhile, Tresa is pulling things out of the void and creating these daggers. So I have a feeling it will have something to do with as we see with these void characters, it has something to do with either going into the void, out of the void kind of ideas. And I would really like to see how Chizuru is going to kind of interact with the void in a new and unique way. Void characters do seem to be some of the more like interesting ways they're interacting with the game, and I'm really curious to see what she does. I'd love to hear people's thoughts and opinions on what they potentially think Chizuru can do. And as always, remember, failing is just your first learning.